Hey, what do you want to eat?
Fried chicken.
With pesto?
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, so you heard the wife. We're gonna make her fried chicken with pesto. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna brine the chicken overnight. And brining really just helps make that chicken extra juicy and gives it a lot more flavor. Trust me, it's worth the extra step in wait time. Okay, so we have to make the brine, and we're gonna go ahead and add about 4 cups of water. We're gonna add about 3 bay leaves, about half a tablespoon of thyme, 3 garlic cloves crushed, 1 small lemon peel, half a tablespoon of whole black pepper, a third cup of sugar, and 2/3 cup of kosher salt. And just give that a nice little swirl. And that looks kind of cool. Just it's going in circles. And turn on the fire, and then we put the lid on and let that boil and simmer for 5 minutes. Then we want to turn off the heat and let that cool completely before adding it to the chicken. A great way that I found that was super effective in cooling it is to find like the biggest book you have in your house and just fan it. Just keep fanning that until your arms get super sore. It's the best way to do it. It's the only way to do it, really. Okay, so now that it's completely cooled, you want to add that to your chicken. And make sure you give that a nice mix again. And then you want to wrap it up with saran wrap and leave it in the fridge overnight. So while your chicken is brining overnight, you can actually go ahead and start your pesto. The pesto actually gets better as well if it's made the day before because it allows the flavors to really get to know each other and to really just, like be best friends. So you want to get a food processor or a blender, and you want to add about 3 tablespoons of pine nuts, 2 small cloves of garlic, and then you want to blitz that up real quick. Now you want to add half the amount of basil, which is about 2 cups loosely packed. And then you want to blitz that up. But as you can see here, my food processor is not really working too well. Actually, I can't even call it a food processor. It's just a piece of crap. I learned my lesson. I need to get a real food processor. If your food processor is actually a real food processor and it's working correctly, you can go ahead and add the rest of your basil. Okay, so once the basil is nicely destroyed into millions of smaller pieces of basil, then you can go ahead and add 3/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Then you want to add half a cup of grated pecorino romano cheese. And then you want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly cracked pepper. And mix that up real good one last time. And look at that homemade pesto. We did it. It looks so nice. It's so green. It's so soothing to look at and eat. One day later. Okay, so here comes the fun part. Here's where we dredge the chicken and get it coated with delicious potential crunchiness. So for this dredge station, we have 2 cups of buttermilk in a bowl. And then in the second bowl, we have a flour mixture combined of 2 cups of all-purpose flour, half a cup of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of salt, half a cup of panko, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of oregano, and 2 teaspoons of black pepper. And you want to make sure that's nicely mixed together. So you take the chicken, you add it to the buttermilk bowl, let it swim around in there a little bit, and then you add it to the flour mixture bowl. And make sure all the chicken gets thoroughly coated with the buttermilk and the flour mixture. So once the chicken is nicely dredged, it's ready for its final act. Okay, so get a heavy pot like a Dutch oven or a cast iron and fill it up halfway with oil. And now we throw those bad boys in. So you want to let them fry for about 8 to 10 minutes or until they reach a nice golden brown color. And you want to make sure that you don't overcrowd that pot with chicken because you want the temperature to maintain at a nice 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And so when it's about that time, you want to take the chicken out of the oil and oh my goodness, look at that. That looks delicious. I don't think we need to even add pesto. We did something here today. We did some good for the world today. This is amazing. All this is going straight to your arteries, but it's okay because we're going to add some nice green pesto. And everyone knows that green stuff makes for a nicely balanced, nutritious meal. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and add some freshly squeezed lemon juice onto the chicken. What this does is it helps cut through the fattiness of the fried chicken and also the fattiness of the pesto. And it gives it a nice little tanginess. Okay, so now we go ahead and combine the chicken with the pesto and let them be friends and best friends, and they'll have children of their own and have a happy life together inside my belly. Meanwhile, let me tell you about the sponsor of this video. Today's video is sponsored by, you got it, me. And if you're liking this recipe so far, if you're liking fried chicken and pesto, then you should totally hit that subscribe button down below, or hit the like button, or comment. But seriously, thank you so much for stopping by and wasting your precious time on this video. Alright, let's get back to the recipe. And there it is, folks. Homemade fried chicken with pesto. Now, let's go feed the wife and see what she thinks.
What's the word?
Yum. It's so good.